forgot about that part.
A big thank you to Ubisoft for giving me early access to Far Cry 6. Do you like open world games? Do you like villains with a remarkable amount of power? Do you like fishing? Congratulations, you're gonna love Far Cry 6. Today I'm gonna dive into some gameplay, some things that I liked, and some things that I didn't like about Far Cry 6. Just keep in mind, I'm like a big hoe for Far Cry. I love this series, so I'm a little biased. Take my opinion with a grain of salt. If for some reason you haven't heard of Far Cry 6, here's the synopsis. The game takes place in Yara, a tropical paradise that is trapped under the tyranny of Anton Castillo, whose oppressive rule has ignited a revolution. You play as Danny Rojas, a local Yaran who is dead set on liberating Yara. If I'm being totally honest, I feel like Far Cry is kind of like a Westfield mall. If you've been to one of them, you've been to all of them. I played Far Cry 6 for a few hours and I was really impressed with what I played. The story kicks off really quickly and I got to meet a ton of the characters within the first 30 minutes or so. Like Guapo, who I'm gonna talk more about later. As per usual, the environment of a Far Cry game is gorgeous. The environment is beautiful, the characters are stunning, the pets are thriving. Everyone's having the hot vaccinated summer they deserve. First of all, the protagonist's name is Danny, and for the first time in the Far Cry series, you can choose to be a man or a woman, an addition that I am very happy about because the woman's voice acting is just mwah, chef's kiss.
This is a fucking waste of time.
One of my favorite things about the Far Cry series are the random squad mates you recruit along the way. Sure, you have your basic soldier or stealth master, but then you have Cheeseburger, a grizzly bear from Far Cry 5 that lives on a diet of, surprise, cheeseburgers. I think it's silly aspects like this that really pull me into the series. They're so good at crafting humorous characters and funny dialogue. Personally, I don't think a game like this needs to be serious 100% of the time, so it's nice to see some comedic relief continue into Far Cry 6. I also feel like the equipment is way more personalized in this game. Your equipment will give you special abilities based on what you equip. Equipping different backpacks will give you different ultimate abilities, or changing your gloves might give you a steadier hand. Fleshing out the armor and equipment makes me feel like it's important to actually go through it. It's not just for appearance anymore. What you equip actually matters to how you play the game. Above all else, fishing is back, and that's all that's necessary to sell me on this game. Now, given I didn't have a whole lot of time with the game, I'm sure there's a lot of things that I missed, but I was a little disappointed in how little there was to do at your home base. You could play dominoes and talk to a few people, but that was it. I was hoping there'd be more mini games or things to do with a co-op partner, since that's going to be a returning part of the game. There will already be so many missions to do together, but some of my favorite moments in gaming are just messing around with my friends online. Playing casino games in GTA or playing poker in Red Dead Redemption. I was hoping for activities that were unrelated to the story. I had also hoped to see more humor in the equipment and weapons. One of my favorite things to do in Far Cry 5 was to get the shovel and make it extremely overpowered so that if you threw it at a silo, it would just make the entire thing explode.
Smack my ass like the drum.
Humor in games is something I can really appreciate, especially in games as serious as the Far Cry series, where it's constantly your mission to overthrow tyrants. However, there is one standalone incredible thing about this game. What is it, Avery? Is it the plot? The gameplay? The combat? No, it's Guapo.
I'm on a sugar crash, I ain't gonna fucking cash. Maybe I should take a bath. Come on.
Guapo is a very sweet crocodile that's there merely for moral support. Fun fact, Guapo means handsome in Spanish. Brand new information for a gringa such as myself. He's one of your amigos or squad mates during Far Cry 6, and he is just the best. He wears a little t-shirt and you can give him little pets and you can make little whistles to signal him to tear your enemies limb from limb. He also does this cute little run with his little legs and he's just honestly, I am very easy to please. Put a little guy in a little t-shirt and I'm happy, I'll buy the game. Far Cry's strange breakfast club of squad mates is one of my favorite parts of every Far Cry game. You can choose a master of stealth or a grizzly bear. You can choose a trained soldier or a loyal dog. I feel like I'm going straight back to the whole I want more humor thing because they do it so well. Oh, and Juana's okay too.
I got more fucking X's than your porn search history.
I actually got a chance to play one of the missions where I had to liberate a tower with Guapo. And right off the bat, I came to the realization that horses are now in the game, so great news for horse gamers everywhere. The mission was pretty interesting because there was a side mission along with liberating the tower. I wasn't just there to clear out the base, I was also there to gather intel. I was killing guys left and right, me and Guapo fighting side by side. I take down a helicopter, whatcha! And then I take down another helicopter and Okay. The thing I was most impressed by about Far Cry 6 is something that Ubisoft has been doing really well lately, which is accessibility options. Accessibility isn't something I ever looked at much growing up because, first of all, it wasn't really a thing back in like the early 2000s, and second, I also didn't feel like I really needed them. But seeing these settings made me think a different way. In Far Cry 6, you have a huge list of accessibility options like menu narration, font scaling, and changing certain colors in the game. But Ubisoft went above and beyond and introduced something I personally haven't seen before in any game, which is accessibility presets for different disabilities. This way you don't have to dig through a huge list of options. If you're colorblind, you can go straight to the color section. If you're hard of hearing, you can go straight to the hearing section. Turning on these presets will automatically change these settings for you, but you can also tailor it to what fits you best. I kind of want to go back to what I said about feeling like I didn't need accessibility options growing up. Ever since I can remember, if I play a game that's on water or the frame rate is too smooth, I get so motion sick. Not just in VR, but playing any standard game at my desk. So when I opened up the accessibility options and I saw an option for motion, I was honestly pretty shocked. There are options there that will prevent me from getting motion sick in the game, like turning off poisoned and drunk effects or motion blur. I feel a bit weird talking about accessibility options as someone that isn't disabled, but I was so happy to see something for people like me who get motion sick really easily from games. There have been so many times where I started playing a game and within 5 minutes I had to stop because I was already feeling sick. The conversation surrounding accessibility in games is something that can be largely attributed to people like Steven Spawn from Able Gamers and Steve Saylor, who are regularly fighting for inclusive options for gamers with disabilities. I've been a big fan of Far Cry since the 3rd game, so I was really pleased with my time with Far Cry 6. And honestly, it's safe to say that if you like the Far Cry games, you will like Far Cry 6 because it's a Far Cry game. Sure, there are new things to do, like riding horses and mini games at your home base, but it's still the same formulaic shooter that seems to work for Ubisoft. For me personally, this isn't an issue because I'm a person that loves story-driven games. I'm more interested in the plot, and if it's really good, then I'll love it. Open world games with a lot to do and a lot of story are right up my alley, so games like Far Cry and Assassin's Creed just work for me. Having the ability to slowly liberate an entire island for the greater good is something that makes me feel accomplished, and maybe that's something that will entice you to play it. The feeling that you've cultivated a rebellion fighting for the greater good and have slowly brought people onto your side is just a great feeling. Or maybe you just want to see Guapo tear some shit up. That's fine too.
Nice boy.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you again, Ubisoft, for the early look at Far Cry 6. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe. And like the video too! Thank you again to my fan house supporters. Without you guys, I would not be able to make these videos. So thank you so much. And also link to the fan house is in the description too if you wanna come join. I'll see you next week when we review gaming's top 10 fish. Number 3 will shock you. Okay, bye!